So as you walked into the church this morning, just by the way, how are you? You know, what's been going on? Who are you thinking about? Who do you want us to pray for today? Late afternoon yesterday, I walked out back and I watched the sunset, and I saw the flags waving in the distance, and I just couldn't help but think of our brothers and sisters in Kentucky and Arkansas. Just the pictures like this morning of common, ordinary, blue-collar people walking through the rubble of their dream home. Can't even imagine what that would be like. And so people like us who do care, and what can we do? We can pray. We have a love bucket, and there's places like the Salvation Army. But sometimes you just feel hopeless because so many people have lost their lives and lost all the possessions they've worked so hard for. And maybe those kind of things cause us to step back. And I look at all the stuff that I have. And I look at the many blessings that I have. And what's the point of storing them up? They need to be shared. But somehow it makes me just want to step back and look at people, and there's got to be small ways that we can share what we have to make somebody else's life just a little bit better. And then the words in this lesson today, they're beautiful words, but they're so hard to live out. For example, it says, show a gentle attitude towards everyone. The Lord is coming soon. My guess is we don't show a gentle attitude toward everyone, especially people we do not like. And then the Lord is coming soon. Well, the Lord is here. The Lord is in you, the Lord is in me. And our calling is to somehow make the Lord come alive in the way we treat each other. And then the apostle says this, don't worry about anything. Oh my gosh, I worry about everything. And in your prayers, ask God for what you need. And I know a lot of us, we ask God for what we need, but it doesn't always come. It would be nice not to worry about anything, because some of us worry about everything. And we're not going to stop worrying. But in the midst of the things that we're anxious about, we can still care. And we can still give unto others. And we can still pray. And somehow, with the good Lord's help, get through the stuff that easily can drag us down. And then it says, fill your minds with those things that are good, things that are true and noble and pure and lovely and honorable. You know, we can do that. You know, my mind is full of so much gunk sometimes. Let's clear it out and store in my head, my mind, my spirit, thoughts that are noble and good and peaceful and just. And boy, what a difference that would make. So when I saw the sunset last night and I saw the flags, I walk in here this morning and I see all that stuff that Katie brought during the week to decorate the altar. I saw the baptismal font because we baptized Joel's son at the early service. And I just thought about all the good things that really are a part of my life. I thought of those things that are true and noble and good. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to think about this Christmas season. Thursday after worship, we got into kind of a heavy discussion. I'm not sure if it was my stimulating 4-minute sermon or the glug that I put out. But we were talking about stuff that people are going through. And a couple of people asked the age-old question, why do bad things happen to good people? I don't know. One of the persons that asked that question has an 80-year-old disabled brother who's blind and can't walk. That's been his life for 80 years. Then I think of Johnny at Heartland. You know, this 20-year-old kid that grew up at Heartland and Mike and Ruth adopted, and in a moment of time, he died of a heart attack. Why did that have to happen? All those people in Arkansas and Kentucky who have lost everything, you say, Lord, if you're that powerful, why does that kind of stuff have to happen? And I realized that there are things that each one of us go through that kind of shake our faith. Because we believe in a loving God and a good God and a strong God, and yet some things happen and you just doubt from the very fiber of who you are. And then I realize more and more that part of what makes me, me, and you, is not what we do know, but what we don't know. Sometimes we have to look life in the face and say, I don't know why that happened. But I do know in the midst of that somehow God's Spirit is in there and will give me the strength to get through it. I got nostalgic for my professor, the one I've talked about before. He used to wear a flannel shirt with 2 pockets and a sport coat with patches. He'd sit on his bench in front of class and puff on his pipe and talk about God. And he's the one that told me, he said, now Don, I know you're going to go to this church in Orland Park. And I want to wish you the best. Remember, Don, if you can't say it in 10 minutes, don't punish people with your ignorance. And he laughed. But I believe him. But I did ask him the question. I said, Maury, why do those kind of things happen? If we believe in a powerful God, why do bad things happen to really, really good people? And he said, Don, I don't know if this will help, but I have this image of God who creates the world with his hands in his pockets. God gives us life. God gives us all this, but God doesn't control everything. The life that God gives us is full of all kinds of unpredictability and even unfairness. And what makes God God is not his power to control stuff, but the unconditional love he gives us to get through the stuff that we don't understand. And I said, well, maybe that helps a little bit. And so I think of the quiet of the sunrise, the devastation in our nation's heartland. I think of a disabled boy who dies suddenly on a farm in Texas. And I realize that in your heart and mine, and in the middle of all that, a child is born and a gift is given. And it's that gift that gets us through. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed.